Hi everyone, and welcome to UNC. My name is Nicholas Hastings, and I'm going to be your tour guide here today. So I'm a recent graduate from Carolina, where I majored in American Studies with a minor in Social and Economic Justice. And I'm here to just chat a little bit about what my experience was like at UNC and kind of give you a walk around. So where we're standing right now is our main quad. This is a pretty pivotal place in the life of any UNC student, whether it be heading to your academic advisor for an appointment or just simply going to class. You can kind of do it all here. So I'll go ahead and point out some buildings to kind of paint a better picture for where we're standing right now. So to my left is our academic advising office. Every Carolina student is granted an advisor upon entry at UNC, and they're incredibly helpful in kind of guiding your academic progress throughout your time here at Carolina. So you only have to declare a major at UNC by the second semester of your sophomore year, and that really allows you some flexibility to explore your academic interests. You know, take a class in something that you've never learned before, or really dive deep in a subject that you're very, very passionate about. And your academic advisors are great in kind of guiding you and crafting that schedule to make sure that you're definitely graduating on time, because your parents and other folks at home are going to want that, but also just ensuring that you're getting the most out of these very, very precious and fleeting 4 years. Directly behind me is South Building. So South Building houses all of our administrative offices at UNC. So very, very important people like the Chancellor, the President, all of those folks, their offices are behind me. An interesting fact about the South Building is at one point it was our southernmost point on campus, which is how it gets its name. And as UNC is the oldest public institution in the country, I think that's just a very great representation to see the growth and expansion of our university over time, right? To think that that was the southernmost point of this campus, and to now it goes far beyond what you're able to see in this virtual reality session. And so what you're going to see is surrounding us kind of behind me all around are just other academic buildings. So these academic buildings are going to hold departments like economics, English, classics, you name it. They're going to hold kind of all of our college and arts and sciences majors. And so that's 70 plus majors or so that are your fairly generic kind of college majors that you've all probably heard of. So things like history, biology, economics, so on and so forth, right? UNC also has 8 professional schools that require an additional application aside from your application to the general college. So those schools are going to be like our School of Journalism, Keenan Flagler Business School, which is on South Campus. We won't be seeing that today, but definitely check that out online. Our School of Nursing, and so on and so forth. There's a lot of, School of Public Health is a big one as well. And so those are just schools that where if you definitely know that that's something you're interested in, be mindful of that and explore that early in your time here at UNC. Directly behind me as well, you'll see it's just kind of our quad. It's a little bit blocked by this building that they just erected during COVID times for folks to study while socially distanced and being outside. But as you can see, there's just a very beautiful kind of green area where a lot of students like to hang out, have some downtime with friends, whether it be throwing a frisbee, sitting and drinking coffee in between classes. I've definitely taken a few naps there in my time at UNC as well. It's just a kind of a place that you'll see it all, where students just really get to relax and hang out in between classes or on the weekends as well. So this is kind of our first stop. We're gonna head to our next place. All right, so where we're standing right now is the pit. The pit is pretty much the most central part of our campus here at UNC. So on any given day, pre-COVID of course, what you would typically see are student organizations lining the entire pit, passing out flyers for their events. So things like come and sign up for Dance Marathon, stand for 24 hours to support the UNC Children's Hospital. You may see an a cappella group performing here in the pit. You may even see some varsity athletes coming to pub their game. But the pit is kind of the place where you would see very much what's happening on campus and how to get involved, how to reach out and explore some interests of your own outside of the classroom. So it's also said that if you were to stand in the pit for 24 hours in a single day, you're pretty likely to see all UNC students because again, everyone's day is really going to pass through here at some point. And I'll kind of walk you through how your day might pass through here if you were a Carolina student. So if you'll turn around, that's Lenore Dining Hall. Lenore is one of our primary dining halls on campus. There's another on South Campus, Chase Dining Hall. So the upstairs of Lenore is your very traditional dining hall style. So you're gonna have buffet food, different types of food, different types of cuisines from all over the world. Occasionally the dining hall will do different themed nights. It's a nice mix up from your high school food. I don't know about you all, but my high school food was definitely not the best. But I think the food at UNC definitely doesn't disappoint. Downstairs is going to be your more restaurant style. So there's some restaurants that you can check out and swipe with your food points. So those are not going to come out of your meal plan per se. It's just kind of like a debit account that you would have on your student card. To my left is the undergraduate library. It's one of our 13 libraries on campus here at UNC. It's the only library here that's open 24 hours a day. Definitely spent many sleepless nights there, but it's a great place where you can get a lot of resources, particularly in the Media Resource Center downstairs, which is the place where you can check out films, movies, whether it be for class or for personal viewing. Definitely something you should check out. Behind me is our student stores, so anything and everything that you need Carolina Blue, you can definitely check out there. They have some really great deals for students as well, not only in terms of gear to wear, but also just school supplies, basic necessities, and things like that. To my right is the Student Union. So the Student Union houses our 700 student organizations on campus. And so if you're looking to get involved in something like underwater water polo, that truly is a club. That's something that you can get involved in there, as well as some organizations more focused towards career and academics. It's all kind of going to be there. So we're going to check out the Union next. Okay, so here we are standing in the Student Union here on campus. So the Student Union houses all of our 800 student organizations here on campus at UNC. That can sound like a very overwhelming number, I definitely know that, but I think organizations and clubs at Carolina are a great way to really shrink an otherwise incredibly large student body and really make UNC feel like a place that's home to you and allow you to connect with folks that you have common interests with. And so you may be wondering how the heck do I start sorting through that many organizations and clubs? And so that's very easy to kind of work through on your very first week here on campus at Carolina. In the fall semester before classes start every year, there's a big event called Fall Fest that's held on the street directly behind the Student Union. The university blocks off the entire street, and every club and organization here at Carolina gets a booth. And so you just spend kind of 3 to 4 evenings, or 3 to 4 hours of your evening traversing the entire street, getting signed up on far too many listservs, blowing your inbox up, but learning a lot of cool stuff that students are doing here on campus. So again, clubs are a really phenomenal way, whether it be something as kind of random as like a Quidditch club, that is a real club here, or if it's something more specific to kind of your specific career journey or an academic interest of your own. There's definitely a club here for you at Carolina to connect with like-minded folks. So again, while we're in the Union, I want to point out a couple of other things. First being Alpine Bagel Shop, which is unfortunately closed right now, but Alpine is a staple in the lives of many UNC students. I've spent far too much money here over my 4 years at Carolina. It's a great way to just kind of get a snack, study. As you can see, there's some study spots downstairs and upstairs here at the Union. Just more spaces to kind of spread out, do your work, hang out with other students, and kind of explore what Carolina has to offer you outside of the classroom. So I think we're going to head to our next stop now. All right, welcome to Davis Library, where we're standing right now is one of our 13 libraries, actually our largest library here on campus. So Davis goes 8 floors high, and each floor is the size of one basketball court in its entirety. So a lot of space to study, a lot of space to spread out, get a lot of work done here. This is probably one of my favorite libraries. I think I spent the majority of my time studying here in college, whether it be some studying or like socializing with friends while studying. This was definitely a place that I spent a lot of time. So as you can see around me, there's a lot of what is now socially distant study spots. They're a little bit more in number when it's not COVID times, but otherwise you can see there's a lot of places to study here. As well as you climb upstairs, it gets a little bit quieter with each floor. So kind of depending on the work you're doing, whether it be a group project, probably want to hang out on the first floor, as opposed to really the grind time final study, probably hit the 8th floor. So UNC's library system is pretty unique in that it's a consortium between UNC, NC State, and North Carolina Central libraries. And so that consortium of libraries is actually the 3rd largest consortium in the country, only behind the Library of Congress and the Ivy system. And so what that means for you as a student here is that for any resource you may need for a class, whether it be a journal article, a book, even a film, you can request it. So if UNC does not have it in circulation at one of our libraries, you can request it from one of our neighboring libraries and have it shipped to you within 48 hours. So it's just really great if you're ever embarking on kind of an intensive research thesis or just any type of research intensive project that you might be doing for a class or outside. It's a great resource to use. So this is Davis Library, and we'll head out to the next. So this stop marks the end of our tour, but I am very happy that we're ending in, I would say, the most picturesque and most prominent place on our campus, which is the Old Well. So if you've ever received any type of materials from UNC or even just kind of seen any images on Google of our university, you most likely have seen the old well. It was initially the first and only water source on campus. Thankfully, we have since expanded beyond that, but it now is actually the national symbol for the NCAA. So even if you were to go down the road to Duke and buy a t-shirt, you're gonna see our symbol on that shirt, which is a pretty cool feat, I think. So a fun tradition with the old well is that it's said that if you sip from the old well on the first day of class of any academic semester, that you're guaranteed a 4.0 at the end of the semester. And so students take that very seriously. So every single day on the first day of classes, you'll see a line forming anywhere starting around like 6:30 a.m. Literally down the block with people waiting to get their one sip of water from the old well. I had some friends as a senior that tried to outsmart that and get some students to fill up a water bottle with them from the old well. I definitely don't think you should push it. I got a sip of water from the old well every single semester here at Carolina. I'm going to push back a little bit on that 4.0 that's guaranteed, but I definitely think it is a very fun tradition, and it showcases something that just Carolina students get into together and have fun. Another building I want to point out while we're standing here, you may not be able to see it from this angle, but it's the Campus Y. So the Campus Y houses all of our social justice related organizations on campus. So those are organizations fighting for fair and equal housing initiatives in the Chapel Hill and Carrboro communities around campus, or even organizations fighting to advance LGBTQ issues here on campus for Carolina students and faculty. I think the Campus Y is just an incredible example of how UNC students are not only dedicated and passionate about their academic studies and their career goals beyond Carolina, but they're also really, really committed to improving the lives of UNC students and Chapel Hill residents during their time here in college. Beyond this quad, which is our northernmost quad, is going to be Franklin Street. So Franklin Street is somewhere that you'll spend a lot of time when you're here at UNC. It's kind of your like quintessential college town, whether it be restaurants, shops, nightlife, you name it. Franklin Street has it all. So Franklin Street is somewhere that you'll definitely get onto the weekends with your friends, hang out, watch a couple of basketball games if you can. It's definitely just a cool place to kind of get off and blow some steam and explore the town of Chapel Hill a little bit outside of campus, if you will. So that's kind of all I wanted to show on this tour. I hope it's been really, really great for you all, as it has been for me to kind of relive my moments here at Carolina. And so before signing off, I just want to kind of give a spiel about what drew me to Carolina and why I'm so passionate about the university still to this day, even though I'm no longer a student. I really, really firmly believe that there is a place for every student at Carolina. I definitely know there was for me, someone who came from a very rural small town in the western part of North Carolina and really was not familiar with kind of a lot of the happenings here of Chapel Hill or beyond as well. I really, really credit UNC to kind of informing me of not only my personal interests academically and professionally, but also just introducing me to so many incredible people that are passionate about things that I knew nothing about or even steered my personal interest into what they are today. And I think in the end, that's what makes Carolina such a special place, is the people that go here. The institution is great and they provide a lot of resources, but the people are what make it really such a special place. And I'm very confident that if/when all of you do come to Carolina, you'll only contribute to that culture of greatness even more, and you'll feel truly how special it is to be a Tar Heel. So thank you so much for allowing me to take you on this tour today. I hope that you got to see all that you wanted to, and wish you all the best.